where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review, and Happy New Year, Transformers fans. As we are counting down to 2024, I wanted to do my personal top 10 list of Transformers that came out this year, 2023. Starting up with number 10. Gonna have to go with the G2 Toxitron from the Toxitron set of figures. Like I said in my G2 Toxitron review on CoolToyReview.com, it was my favorite one and most looked forward to figure. I have wanted a Toxitron in my collection for a very long time, and there have been other Toxitron figures. They were just proven to be a little out of reach for a little while, or I just haven't really come across it at the right price yet. And that's mostly because both figures were BotCon exclusives. One was the BotCon exclusive Transformers Animated Universe Toxitron figure, a repaint of the Animated Universe Optimus Prime. And the other one was a Collectors Club exclusive, being a repaint of the Transformers Combiner Wars Optimus Prime, and made the torso of Ruination. So we finally got a Toxitron based off of the original figure that was canceled before release, Generation 2 Toxitron. And if you've watched that review, I went into a little bit of detail about his character. So he had to come in because, one, that mold is a really awesome mold. I love the Legacy Laser Prime mold that they used for Laser Optimus, RID Scourge, and now Toxitron. I got both of the other figures I was really hoping we'd get out of the Legacy mold, and I'm very happy we did. Moving on to number 9, we're going to go with the 2-pack this time. Yes, I know that's not quite top 10 figures, but we're going to lump these two together as one, and that's got to be the SDCC exclusive Ariel and Dion. Ariel and Dion were both very awesome, despite being heavy retools and repaints of figures previously released. Dion being a repaint of both Studio 86 Cup and the previous year's SDCC exclusive Orion Pax. And that Orion Pax was an awesome figure. I'm surprised they used that cup mold to make Dion as well, but honestly, in my opinion, it worked pretty well. And the Ariel, that bike mode, that version of what started as the Legacy Prime Universe RC figure, that is my favorite version of that mold so far. Not just because it's the first official Ariel figure we've ever got as Transformers fans, but because I really like how that alt mode looks the best in comparison to all the other releases of it. Coming in at number 8, we're going to go with Rise of the Beasts Scourge. Part of the reason why he's not much higher on the list, despite being a fantastic villain, a really great character design, and a really fun toy, he's not all that screen accurate. As we found out later, the Scourge figure we got in Studio Series was based a little bit more on concept art than it was the final render of the character model, which ended up being pretty different, especially in the upper torso area of the character's design. Despite still being pretty close and also featuring weapons and play features based off of the movie, and once again being awesome, due to all of those inaccuracies, he couldn't quite be higher up on the list, but he was still on the list. Going in at number 7, we got to go with Trashmaster, and a little bit by extension, the new Junkion play pattern we got. Very creative, very fun. Junkosaurus was a nice little added bonus, much like they did with the fossilizers. It was, while Junkions aren't new to Transformers, the Junkions we got were all new, especially conceptually, to Transformers, and I really loved the originality. And the reason I picked Trashmaster over the others is because I liked his alt mode the most. Being a big Mad Max style garbage truck was really cool. The Chompy weapon was awesome. I love the Chompy weapon, especially since it makes the head of Junkosaurus. And I just love Trashmaster's design the most out of all of them. So I had to put Trashmaster on the list specifically. Moving in at number 6, War for Cybertron Barricade. A lot of other fans poo-pooed on this figure, but I really like this figure a lot. So far, out of the War for Cybertron figures that we've got, he's been the standout figure. Partially due to him being the really most original figure out of the ones we got, because we got previous releases of Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, and Cliffjumper in the War for Cybertron video game, and not Barricade. But also, I really liked how solid and accurate his alt mode looked, and the size of him also caught me by surprise when I first started playing with it. Number 5, we're going to go with Leo Convoy, or Leo Prime, depending on which you want to call him. Leo Convoy was one I was not expecting to get a modern update for until they announced him, while they were doing other modern updates for Beast Wars. While we still have more modern updates for Beast Wars coming, I was pleasantly surprised to see a Japanese original character on the list, and one of my favorite Maximals at that as well. Now, being one of my favorite Maximals is not why he made the list. He made the list because his design was really well executed. The articulation is fantastic. He's more in scale with other generations figures now, whereas the original Beast Wars second figure was wildly out of scale, not only with current figures, but even with the figures it came out with at the time. And he's still pretty screen accurate even with his play features. Now, does the mane and lion head spin? No. But is it still cool? Absolutely. Although it could have used a little bit more paint, putting him at number 5. Number 4, though, is going to have to go to Tarn. Tarn was another big surprising character for fans. When he got announced, so many fans, myself included, were so excited for Tarn, and understandably so. He was a fantastic and well-executed figure. Very comic book accurate. Now, we have established that the Super 7 one, while it doesn't transform, is a bit more comic book accurate and a bit bulkier than the new one we got. But being the first Hasbro-produced Tarn, I feel as though they nailed it. Moving on to number 3, we have Armada Megatron. I had a lot of expectations for Armada Megatron, which in my opinion were met short of him coming with his mini-con. I love that he's like Leo Convoy, more in scale with not only current generation's figures, but some of the Armada figures as well. And the articulation is such a nice update to that figure. Plus, Armada Megatron is a really cool Megatron design-wise. Number 2. Number 2 also happens to be the number 2 Commander class figure that we got this year, Studio 86 Ultra Magnus. That figure caught me by surprise also. I like that figure a lot more than I expected to, because I really liked the Kingdom Ultra Magnus a lot. When they first announced Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, my initial response was, why? We just got a really good modern G1-ish or G1 style update in the Kingdom line. Why are we immediately redoing this? Because it hasn't been that long since that other figure came out. So once he got announced, at first I didn't think it was necessary. But then when they started showing off the features, the fact that he had the removable limbs, and the fact that he goes straight from car transport carrier mode to robot mode with no inner white Optimus body, that won me over. Also, the removable matrix. The way they did the matrix in the chest was also very well done. The paint, the colors were so fantastic, very screen accurate. That is, in my opinion, the definitive Ultra Magnus, which is why he had to be in number 2. But number 1 had to go to Armada Optimus Prime, also a Commander class. Armada Optimus was, in my opinion, base mode with the trailer aside, which in my opinion was, I could have taken it or leaving it anyway, the best figure released this year. So much of that figure was executed so well. Just like with Megatron, my biggest complaint is the lack of a mini-con, but ignoring that, and once again the base mode, because trailer base modes, I never display them anyway, so me personally as a collector, it doesn't affect me much. I know it should still go in there, but I'm ignoring it for now. It was such a great figure. I love everything about that Legacy Optimus Prime from Armada. They nailed what was my first and original Optimus Prime toy in that nice Generations modern articulation that we all know and have come to love. In my opinion, pretty much perfectly, which is why he had to go to number 1. Honorable mentions. It is time for the honorable mention of HasLab Death Stars. I wanted to put him in the top 10 because, yes, he did technically release this year, but you had to back the HasLab campaign to get it. And while, like pretty much everybody else on the list, just about anybody who wanted him had access, at least for a limited time, to back him, I didn't feel it was fair to put him on the list with figures you could get essentially anywhere. So that's kind of why he didn't make the cut, and pretty much everybody expects him to be on the list, which is also why he didn't make the cut. And why he was put in the honorable mentions section. Guys, thank you so much for another wonderful year of tuning into our content. We really appreciate it a lot. And if you have suggestions of stuff you'd like to see in the future, please put them in the comments down below. What were your top 10 list of Transformers? I would like to know. Put those also in the comments down below if you don't mind. Do you like my list, or do you think it needs some tweaking? Like I said, I want to see your list. My list was my personal top 10 list, but your list could be completely different. So let's see those listings down below. Stay tuned for more Transformers content coming up in 2024. It's shaping up to be a great year for Transformers fans, and 2024 hasn't even officially started yet. And there's also a lot of other awesome toys and collectibles coming out this year, and we'll be reviewing a lot of those too. So like and subscribe, follow us on social media for more, but also check out our sister website and YouTube channel, cooltoyreview.com. Make sure you check that website daily because there's all kinds of awesome toy news, reviews, and more on the main website of cooltoyreview.com. Speaking of websites, check out our other sister website, Rebelscum.com, the world's oldest and largest Star Wars fan website, not owned by Disney. There's daily Star Wars content on Rebelscum.com, whether that's toy news, reviews, or something else. And Rebelscum.com, in its nearly 30-year history of being up on the interwebs, is hosting the first ever official Rebelscum Con in 2024, June 27th through the 30th at the Allen Convention Center. To book your experience today, go to rebelscumconventions.com. Once again, that's rebelscumconventions.com to get your hotel rooms, see the guests, see guest announcements, see activity announcements, see party announcements, see after party announcements, and more on Rebelscum Conventions and socialmedia.com. If you're looking for some awesome collectibles and merch, come by our physical location inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas, which also houses Order 66 Toys, the world's official all-collectible Star Wars toy store. And in case you're not local, they go live every Friday night on the Order 66 Toys Facebook page at 7 p.m. Central Time, and they ship all around the world. Last but not least, check out our free archival website, collectorsoracle.com. It has mostly Star Wars collectibles on it for now, but it is absolutely free for anyone to use, and you can mark stuff in your collection, mark stuff you'd like to have in your collection, and share those lists with friends and family alike, and it's all absolutely free. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you for 2024. Happy New Year, everybody.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.